Welcome to Math Science History. I'm Gabrielle Burchak. I have a background in math, science, and journalism. And today is going to be a holiday repost of my very first holiday puzzle from 2019. And whether you are revisiting it or hearing it for the first time, consider this an invitation to slow down and think. And with that being said, enjoy the repost and happy holidays. In the year 415, the infamous philosopher and mathematician Hypatia of Alexandria, Egypt, was savagely murdered by church monks. This murder shocked the Roman community and its government leaders. Hypatia was known far and wide as a respected philosopher, mathematician, government advisor, and a professor. Hypatia, The Sum of Her Life, is a book that I wrote that looks not just at the circumstances surrounding her death, but also at the sum of her entire life. I weave in the details of her education, disciples, Neoplatonic philosophies, female contemporaries, and the many mathematics that she wrote and taught about. There is truly more to Hypatia's life than her death. Hypatia, The Sum of Her Life, written by me, Gabrielle Burchak, is now on sale on Amazon. Buy your copy today. The holidays are upon us, and what better way to celebrate than share a fun logic puzzle about 5 eccentric scientists and their holiday celebration. For the sake of the puzzle, let's just assume that these scientists are neighbors and all exist in our current era. The scientists include William Buckland, Tycho Brahe, Ilya Ivanovich Ivanov, Stubbins Firth, and Pythagoras. William Buckland lived from 1784 to 1856, but in this logic puzzle, he's alive today. Imagine meeting this guy, a brilliant man from Oxford who penned a complete description of a fossilized dinosaur, the Megalosaurus. But William Buckland also has a predilection for eating anything that was meat. Yes, everything, like roasted hedgehog, sea slugs, kangaroo, potted ostrich, panthers, porpoises, bat urine, you name it. He even claimed to have eaten the shrunken heart of King Louis XIV. Yeah. Our next neighbor is Tycho Brahe, who was born in 1546. Tycho Brahe loved to party. This guy would have parties on his private island, complete with a court jester under the table and a drunken pet elk. So this is the guy that we want for our story. Around the 10th of December, while at an engagement party at Professor Lucas Bachmeister's house, Brahe and his third cousin Mandrup Parsberg got into a fight over who was the better mathematician. Apparently, this fight went on for a couple of weeks when the two decided to have a duel in the dark on December 29th, 1566. A duel in the dark. Yes, a duel in the dark. Smart mathematicians, maybe, but practical gentlemen, not really. Brahe lost the bridge of his nose in the duel and had to wear a prosthetic nose for the rest of his life. Our third neighbor is Ilya Ivanovich Ivanov. Ilya Ivanov lived from 1870 to 1932. In 1924, the Bolshevik government gave Ivanov permission to leave his country to carry out science experiments in an attempt to crossbreed apes and humans. In 1926, Ivanov grafted a woman's ovary into a chimp and attempted to fertilize her with human sperm. When the chimp could not conceive, he went to Africa to inseminate chimps with human sperm. When those chimps could not conceive, he went back to Bolshevik to try and inseminate 5 Soviet women with chimp sperm. However, before he could begin his experiments, Stalin had ordered the removal of scientists. Ivanov was sent to Kazakhstan, where he died 2 years later from a stroke. Stubbins Firth. Stubbins lived from 1784 to 1820. This guy was obsessed with yellow fever and believed that it was not contagious. He was so intent with proving that it wasn't contagious that he sliced his arms with a knife and smeared his arms with vomit from yellow fever patients. Oh, wait. That is not all. He poured the vomit in his eye, drank it, and fried it in order to breathe the fumes. There's more. He then gathered the blood, urine, and saliva from yellow fever patients and covered himself in it. He didn't get sick, though. The reason why is because the patients were in the late stages of the illness and past the point of contagion. Finally, Pythagoras. Pythagoras lived between 570 BCE and 495 BC. As we all know, he was a really smart guy and philosopher, but I'm going to go with this myth because it works for my puzzle. The story goes that Pythagoras hated beans. He hated beans so much that he prohibited his followers to eat them. If they ate beans, they would be banished from his group. The story continues that Pythagoras was being ensued by a mob intent on killing him. Pythagoras, while running away from them, encountered a bean field that he could run into and hide. However, he didn't because he hated beans that much. Instead, he just stopped in his tracks. The mob found him and beat him to death. Again, this is a myth, but it works for the story. So, my logic puzzle goes like this. We'll be right back after a quick word from my advertisers. William Buckland, Tycho Brahe, Ilya Ivanovich Ivanov, Stubbins, Firth, and Pythagoras, who were all neighbors to each other, decide to celebrate Christmas Eve together. After one drunken Thanksgiving Eve, they decided to mix up their holiday and do something different. So instead of all meeting at one house, they decide they're going to round robin the party and eat one course of dinner at one place and then move to the next person's place. Of course, Tycho Brahe thought the idea was kind of boring, so he suggested some kind of entertainment as well. He asked if he could bring his court jester, but they all dismissed that idea. So instead, they all agreed to perform one song with a different musical instrument at each person's house. So they all agreed that their courses and their Christmas dinner would include soup, salad, bread, meat, and dessert. For the house with the dessert, they assigned that person to provide a really nice variety of desserts that would include ice cream, cake, pie, pudding, and cookies. So, here's how the parties went down. Soup was served in the home of the person who ate cake for dessert. Someone thought it would be funny to serve bean salad just to rile Pythagoras. Pythagoras cannot stand the song Celebration by Kool and the Gang. Bread was not served in William Buckland's home. One of them played the triangle. One of them played the 12 Days of Christmas using the harmonica. Pythagoras, in honor of the hypotenuse, played I Want a Hippopotamus for Christmas, substituting hypotenuse for hippopotamus, but he didn't play it with bagpipes, which another one of them actually used. Grandma Got Run Over by a Reindeer was played using a potentially contagious flute. Bull testicles marinated in bat urine was served in the home of the person who ate pie for dessert. Ilya Ivanovich Ivanov loves to antagonize Pythagoras. Dessert was served in Stubbins Firth's home. By the way, Stubbins Firth did not play the harmonica. Tycho Brahe played the cymbals and for dessert passed on the ice cream, the pie, the pudding, and the cookies. Pythagoras swore up and down that there were vanilla beans in the ice cream and in the cake and in the pie and in the vanilla cookies. So for dessert, he ate what he thought had no beans in it. One of them played Jingle Bells. Bean salad was not served in the home of the person who ate the ice cream. And someone played Celebration by Kool and the Gang. So, which dinner course was served at each person's home? Which dessert did each person eat? Who played what song? Which musical instrument did each person use? I would love it if you would play along. I'm going to post the puzzle on my website at mathsciencehistory.com so you can see all the details of the party and the details of each eccentric guest and take a shot at it. See if you can answer it. I'm going to open up my blog for comments. If no one seems to get them, I'll go ahead and post the answers next week on my blog, again at mathsciencehistory.com. Thank you so much for tuning in to Math Science History. It's the holiday season, and so I will be taking a couple of weeks off. And until next time, carpe diem. I'm Gabrielle Burchak. This podcast has been brought to you by caffeine. Delicious, wonderful nectar of the gods caffeine. Coffee, tea, coffee candy, you name it. I love it. Thank you for listening to Math Science History. If you are interested in reading more about the history of math and science, please come visit me at mathsciencehistory.com. And while you are there, if you like what you're listening to, please feel free to click on that coffee button and buy me a cup of coffee. Because every single dollar that you donate supports our production costs and keeps our educational website free. And until next time, carpe diem.